Hello and welcome to a gaming podcast that still currently has no name. This is
Show with no name.
The show with no name. I am one of your hosts. I am Darby Hallman,
And I am Jeff Mayo.
and this is a little thing that we're trying out. This is, I think, the third test episode.
This is the third test episode that we're trying out. Had a couple mic issues last time. This is our second mic.
Yeah, hopefully this Blue Yeti will treat us a little better than the last one. But this is the first one that you might be hearing. We might be putting this one out, hopefully. But hopefully you guys can, anyone listening can let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and we can kind of evolve the show as it goes, including a name.
Yes, if you have any name suggestions.
We definitely need them because we are not smart or creative enough to come up with one, which is why we have the show with no name right now.
Yep.
And we're probably going to start these episodes off usually by talking about what we've been playing recently, but there is kind of one problem this week.
College.
College is the problem. I've played about 5 minutes of For Honor before this podcast.
And I played nothing.
And that was, that's about it for the week. Hopefully this will start to change soon, though, because next week is the week.
Yep, because for Darby, Horizon Zero Dawn's coming out on
Robot
Tuesday.
dinosaurs?
Yep. And on Friday, the Nintendo Switch is coming out with The Legend of Zelda and a couple other little fun games.
Very, very, very busy time for video games.
Yep.
Right?
And luckily, our spring break's in a week, so we can have a little more time to dive into these big games.
Before we see Green Day, because we're going to relive our middle school years.
Yes.
But, so I think we have a lot of news to get into, though, since we don't really have much to talk about with our own gaming lives right now. So what do we have to start off?
Okay, first thing we have up is Injustice 2 news. Just so people know, Injustice 2 has been a thing in the last 2 attempts we've had here. So if it sounds like we're skipping something, it's because we talked about it in the last podcast.
Yeah, if we sound awkward, well, we're going to sound awkward no matter what. But, this is kind of our third go around talking about Injustice, so I'm I'm starting to run out of things to say. But
I'll just throw this out there. If you're not a fan of Injustice or really care for it, if we do release this, it'll probably be on YouTube, and we're planning on having timestamps in the descriptions if you just want to see what we talk about and skip around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so going back to Injustice 2. Last time we did a podcast was 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to fill Darby in on what he may have missed the last 2 weeks, which is a fair amount.
Yeah, I'm a busy dude.
Yeah. But there have been a bunch of character announcements for Injustice 2. And these characters include Swamp Thing, Cheetah, Catwoman, who's a returning character.
Yep.
Not an announcement, but some gameplay reveals for Poison Ivy, another returning character, Cyborg, a stage shown in a trailer that's kind of announced, Gorilla City, and a new story gameplay trailer thing.
New Donk City, is that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be a Super Mario Odyssey crossover.
Okay, I'm just making
and
sure.
Donkey Kong.
Right. Well, I just watched Swamp Thing, literally right before we recorded this. I think he looks awesome.
Yes, he looks pretty dope.
He has giant, green swamp fists.
Yep. He looks like a big grappler that has some range to him, so it's like a character I can get behind and annoy Darby and our other friends with.
Yeah, he looks very... You shouldn't be strong and have big range. There should be some catch.
This is based off on the trailer and some of what I heard, which may have got mixed around, so we don't know 100%.
Yeah. But Cheetah looks more like my type of character, because in the first Injustice, Catwoman was by far my main, and just in these type of fighting games in general, I usually go for the fast character, the fast
that happen to be female.
Yeah, they do mostly happen to be. I'm a Melina main in Mortal Kombat X. Before that, I was Katana. So yeah, I don't know why that happens. It just does. But Cheetah is piquing my interest because I think you said that Catwoman this go around is gonna be more of a gadget type character.
Maybe. That's just what we're assuming based on the trailer, and I think they showed part of it super, and she's on a motorcycle, and from what it sounds like, if I remember hearing one of the developers say, or someone who knows more, said that Cheetah's going to be more of a grappler character.
Yeah.
So she'll be like, you being a Melina main in Mortal Kombat 9, not all the moves, but some of the moves, at least one of her movesets, getting on them and like scratching them and biting them. Yeah, it sounds like something Cheetah would do.
Yeah, and I feel like they probably, introducing Cheetah, they felt like they had to do something to differentiate Cheetah and Catwoman.
I'm okay with it because seeing them both announced at the same time, it's like two feline style characters at once.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine if they change Catwoman enough. As long as I still have a character like that. I mean, I'm fine if Cheetah just takes that place. That's fine. I mean, like, I definitely have more of a... I mean, you'll learn if you listen to this podcast enough. Jeff's a very big DC guy. I respect DC, but I definitely don't have as much history with him. But I do have a lot more history with Catwoman than Cheetah, obviously. So I would prefer, but, oh well.
When Cheetah was announced, there were a fair amount of, who is this? And why is her name just Cheetah?
Every DC character that comes out, like, I recognize, I know all of them. I just have to, I was telling Jeff before this, every time I see it, I have to sit here and think, like, what do they look like? Where do I know them from? It's like, I always know that, like, Swamp Thing, Cheetah, I always know all of these, but it just takes me a minute.
Yeah, and for me, depending on what character it is, like, if it's a superhero who has multiple people take up the mantle, when I hear a character's name, I'm like, so which one is it? Yeah, like, for example, if Robin...
Is this going to be Robin with a sword? Or is
it going to be Damian Wayne? Is it going to be Dick Grayson? Who is it?
Yeah. Robin with a sword is very interesting. I mean, I know to
me, it's like, okay, this makes sense for which Robin it is, but for everyone else, it's like, why does he have a sword?
I mean, whatever, I'm down.
Yep, and Poison Ivy, which kind of the same thing with Cheetah and Catwoman, with Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing is like two plant-based characters.
Yeah.
But we've seen very little Poison Ivy and a fair amount of Swamp Thing. At this point, IGN posted a 13-minute video of Swamp Thing gameplay. Mm-hmm. So if you see more moveset and just looking at it and just based off the trailers, you can tell okay, I can see how they're going to be different because Swamp Thing is going to be a bigger character and everything. Right. But at the same time, just when you think superheroes and everything, you want different power sets. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, anywhere just with how many characters they have to draw from. There's the fact that they're similar, and as we've talked about before, there's a lot of Batman characters in Injustice.
Yep, and when you think about Batman characters, also the fact they're just most of them are just humans with gadgets and weapons, and it's like with all these characters with all these diverse powers, like how many regular humans with gadgets do we need?
Yeah, I mean, granted, Batman. I know more about, and I'm closer to the Batman characters than anyone else, so I'm cool with that. But I do understand there's a vast DC library.
Well, what you just said is why they are in there. That's the thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone knew. Everyone knows it's going to be Batman heavy. It's just that's the way it's going to be. And it's going to be Batman heavy, and then there's going to be the token Mortal Kombat character that Jeff just loves. That's
yes. I can't wait for Sub-Zero. Probably. And then Cyborg's returning, which cool.
Sorry, I was already trying to. Cyborg's awesome. Obviously returning character. I'm guessing his moveset will be similar to before, but
probably we've only seen that trailer you just saw is all we've seen of Cyborg. Okay. So we know nothing about what his moveset is going to be like. But some characters have changed up a lot. For example, this past week, NetherRealm did one of their Watchtower streams where they, show off characters. They show off Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn, who do have some changes, especially Wonder Woman. So,
okay.
So we don't know how these returning characters will be.
Okay. I have two questions.
Yes.
One, can you tell me what exactly Gorilla City is? And number two, should I feel like a failure for not really knowing about Gorilla City?
Second question, yes, of course.
Okay.
But it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a city full of gorillas.
Okay.
Normally, it is based in Africa. A bunch of highly intelligent, sentient gorillas.
Winston?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he's already in the game.
Yeah. Winston and Harambe, they're the same.
Yeah. Don't know for sure if it's Gorilla City, but based off the all-female character trailer thing, it shows some story stuff with Catwoman and Harley Quinn with Grodd with some gorilla soldier in the background, and just based off one of the new stages they were fighting on, it's like, okay, it's got to be Gorilla City.
Yeah.
So, could be wrong there, but That's very likely what it is, and I'm okay with that.
Awesome. And when does Injustice come out again?
May 18th.
All right.
I'm excited. I have the Ultimate Edition pre-ordered, which will come with all 9 DLC characters that they're going to release.
That's a lot. Of
That's not counting. Well, it's 10 if you count Darkseid.
Yeah. Darkseid's pre-order.
Yeah.
And also, there is a leak. There's
yes.
always leaks nowadays.
Yeah. There was a leak, I guess about 2 months ago, which someone who worked on the mobile game saw, or was able to look at the mobile game, saw all the characters in it and leaked the list. And based off the character announcements, I have no doubt this is 100% true. It could be missing some people potentially, but every character on the list should be in the game. We're not going to say who it is, just so if you want to avoid it and just kind of go with who NetherRealm announces. But if you want to look at it, it's not going to be that hard to find it.
It's there. Just search it. Some person in the comment section will probably spoil it for you anyway. But if you want to try, we're not going to spoil it for you.
No. Okay. That's enough Injustice 2 talk, and that's enough DC talk. So let's get to Marvel.
All right.
Okay, so it's been announced Marvel games to tell original stories not held to the comic book canon. And this is an article on IGN. It says, Marvel games won't force the developers it partners with to squeeze their games into existing storylines throughout Marvel's universes. Speaking to IGN at DICE 2017, Marvel Games creative director Bill Roseman instead assured that the teams behind games like Spider-Man for PS4 or Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series are being given the opportunity to create new visions of beloved characters. We want to give developers freedom to tell their stories, and we want to make it an original story, Roseman said. We want to give our partners freedom to look at all Marvel history and to pick from what interests them. It's a bit like we're saying, hey, you're the chef, you're going to make this meal, here's all the ingredients. You pick the ingredients that you like and make a new meal. And
I like this a lot.
Yes.
I definitely, that was one of the worries with all the, in case you didn't know, there's an Avengers game coming up.
Yeah.
Like Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah, for people who don't know, there are 4 Marvel games that have been announced at this point in time. And they include Spider-Man for PS4 being worked on by Insomniac, Guardians of the Galaxy the Telltale series, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and the Avengers project from Square Enix.
Yeah, and there's rumors of another Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, also being worked on by Square Enix.
Yeah. So I was worried I was excited when all these announcements were made, but I was also worried that they were gonna eventually be forced to kind of exist within like either the comic canon or the cinematic universe canon and stuff. And I just figured, I mean, like, especially when you're working with many different teams all over the world who aren't really like connecting with each other, that seems like that would be a really limiting thing. So I'm happy to see that it's going to be its own. You know, they're not going to be forced to be together or be, like, I'm guessing what it's saying here is like they're going to be their all own like unique stories, right? They're not gonna, even with each other, they're not gonna.
There's always a chance, and this has not been officially announced from what I've seen or rumored. There's always a chance the Square Enix Avengers game and the Guardians of the Galaxy game, if that's true, could be connected in some way.
And if they're made by the same people, that'd be a lot easier.
Also, he also threw out there to kind of show that this is what they're doing. Is he pointed out the Spider-Man design from the trailer that premiered at E3, because that's a completely new Spider-Man design,
right? That
Insomniac made up. So everyone kind of thought, okay, studios will be able to do what they want, and this just kind of confirms it, which, again, we said we are excited for that.
Yeah. I'm sure some people will probably be disappointed. Some people, they might have wanted a like big universe in games, and it might still happen eventually, but at least right here at the beginning, I'm glad that you're just letting these developers kind of do their own thing with these characters.
Look at the Arkham series.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to see what Insomniac can do with Spider-Man, because I've always loved Spider-Man, and I think they're great storytellers. So I think this is very good. I kind of expected that this is how it was going to be with the beginning, but I was always
it's nice nervous to have confirmation.
Yeah. And maybe eventually, like you said, maybe Square Enix will have a giant connected universe of games, and I think that's fine. But you shouldn't expect like multiple different developers in different games to be connected.
I don't see any reason Insomniac and Square Enix should talk to each other and figure out what they're doing to keep it.
I think it's hard enough to just make a game.
And obviously the Telltales aren't going to be connected to the other ones.
Right.
Unless there are multiple Telltale games and they do that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Telltale is probably working on at least 20 different Marvel games. Probably.
Yes, of course.
I'm pretty sure it's a fact that Telltale works on 500 games at once. So I think that's how they work.
Honestly, I just had this thought. I wouldn't mind them, especially Guardians of the Galaxy or stuff. They make like a Young Justice or a Teen Titans Telltale game.
Yep, we go DC.
They already did Batman.
Yeah, they did already do Batman, which apparently was very... Have you played that yet?
Nope.
All right, that's on our back.
So I'm behind on my Telltale games and already trying to catch them on like Game of Thrones and Tales of the Borderlands. So,
but it's all out now, so I might actually play it. That's a topic for another day. But I refuse to play Telltale games until they're all out because they made me wait like 6 months for a Game of Thrones episode, and I'm done with that. So. I will just play it when it's all out, which Batman is. So I will get to that eventually. Who knows when, though?
Yep. Okay. On to the next story. BioShock creator Ken Levine's new studio is named Ghost Story. Yeah. After winding down Irrational Games in 2014, co-founder Ken Levine, I think I'm pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Has finally announced the name of his new studio, Ghost Story. Ghost Story is a spiritual successor of sorts to Irrational. The studio behind System Shock 2, Freedom Force, and the BioShock games. Or at least the original BioShock and BioShock Infinite. And made up of 12 former employees. They have launched a website that explains the title was chosen because ghost stories are immersive, exciting, and steeped in community. The name reminds us of our mission.
I'm stoked. I love BioShock, and I've really been waiting to see what Ken Levine was doing.
Yeah.
And obviously, I guess we don't really know that much now, but the fact that we heard anything at all is awesome.
Yeah. They went further on the website to say what their mission is. And they say it is to create immersive, story-driven games for people who love games that ask something of them. While we believe our new games will have strong appeal to fans of BioShock, our new focus allows us to craft experiences where the gameplay is as challenging as the stories. And they also go on to say, while they don't have anything to reveal, they said their maiden game will be a new immersive sci-fi game with RPG elements.
So Ken Levine's making the next Dark Souls.
Because Dark Souls is sci-fi.
I was wanting to say that after you said that it was going to be the difficulty, or it was going to be as difficult as the story. But I mean, we don't have to spend too much time here because obviously we don't know that much. But awesome to see that he's doing something else. BioShock Infinite and the original BioShock are two of my favorite games of all time. Yep.
I've only played, as weird as it sounds, Infinite. I never got and played a little bit of 2.
It's a rarity.
Yes.
But I actually, it's very, very kind of a controversial opinion. I actually like Infinite better. Crazy, come at me.
Anyway, bruh.
Move on.
Yep. Okay, next thing is E3. Some studios or publishers, whoever, have announced some of their conferences or about when they're going to be. EA, Microsoft, and Bethesda have all announced when they're going to have their E3 conferences, or at least the day. EA has said that theirs is going to be Saturday, June 10th. Microsoft has said that their conference is going to be Sunday, June 11th at 2 p.m. Pacific time.
Which is breaking tradition.
Yes, because they normally do it Monday at like noon.
There's a tradition here, Microsoft. What are you doing?
And Bethesda's staying on their Sunday slot.
We don't like change.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Bethesda's still going to be on Sunday, but they haven't set a time.
Right. So Microsoft is in the spot that if you watch the last video, they're in the spot that Bethesda was before, right? They're in that Sunday night.
No, 2 p.m. Pacific
or 2 p.m.
So it's early in the afternoon, so Bethesda could still get their night slot.
Okay, so Microsoft,
Bethesda still said it's going to be
Microsoft will be going earlier though than normal.
Yeah, they're going to go a whole day earlier, and I think this is smart because if you look at mainly last year, because I can't remember. I know we talked about it at some point, but that was a while ago. But if you felt the same, I thought Microsoft killed their conference. Mm-hmm. It was really good. I was like, how will Sony follow this? And Sony did and had a really great conference. I think this is good for Microsoft because it gives people more time to talk about it before Sony's conference happens if Sony does good.
I think that's the problem because with all the news cycle with this stuff, it's always like whatever the last thing is, that's what everyone's going to roll with, especially if it's something that packs a big punch. So with years past, Microsoft will go, and no matter how good they do, if Sony's conference is good, it's only a few hours late. It's not that long afterwards. So Microsoft doesn't really get that much time. So I think either way would have been good if they, whatever like direction earlier or later they wanted to separate themselves from Sony would probably be a good idea. Because I think they'll probably, we'll do like E3 predictions at some point, but we might be seeing like Scorpio stuff.
I think they've already said Scorpio's a lock.
So they could have a very big E3 thing if they do that right. So I think that's smart. They're smart to.
It gives more time to digest their games before the other heavy hitter Sony does their conference. And next we are going to Square Enix. Square Enix launches new studio and announces a new RPG. And also, by the way, just so people know, let's say otherwise, I'm reading all my stuff off IGN, so people know. So I feel like
it isn't going to be that all the time, but we do get a lot of things for IGN, so that's great.
And that's why when reading it, I'm going to sound awkward for a while, so people know. Okay. Square Enix has announced RPG Project Prelude Rune, along with the formation of a new studio. The
Octopath Traveler.
Yep. The new studio, named Studio Istolia, is helmed by Hideo Baba. I hope I pronounced it. No. This is Hideo Baba.
Alright.
That's probably not how you say it.
It's alright, you got this.
Who brings some 18 plus years of experience to the table. Baba is perhaps best known as the driving force behind Namco's Tales of series.
Oh.
That's why I didn't want you to read it.
Oh.
Yeah, I told Darby not to read this because when I heard he didn't, because I wanted to see his reaction to that.
Oh. Interesting.
Yep. According to Siliconera, I probably butchered that, the focus of Studio Istolia is to create new IP as well as further existing Square Enix franchises. Ballard serves as producer of Project Prelude Rune and hopes to create a new type of RPG fantasy, one which spans vast landscapes filled to the brim with a plethora of life. More information about the RPG will be revealed at a later date. And also, if you go to IGN to look more at the story, there are a couple concept art things which look pretty cool to me.
Cool.
Yep. It's like dragons and stuff. It's all fancy looking.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, what did you say? I'm sorry. What did you say his role with Tales was?
He is like the main driving force.
Okay.
I don't know exactly all of it, but he's like one of the main dudes.
That would be. I mean, like, yeah. You'll again, if you listen to us long enough, you'll realize we love Tales. In fact, I think right after we record this, we're probably gonna go play Tales of Berseria.
Yeah, we're from what I hear, we're one of the few people as far as like hardcore gamers, I guess you can say, that actually do the co-op Tales thing because we find it a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to go through. I mean, we loved Zillia and stuff. Zestiria not so much, but this I'm really loving this one so far. But it's kind of we're getting off topic. It's awesome to see. It would be awesome to see them, like someone from that series, do something new. They do a
also,
new
we don't know much about this, but it'd be interesting if this guy who we generally like his stuff gets a bigger budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, the one thing I don't know about this, because I don't know the history of this guy overall, what does this mean for the Tales series?
Yeah.
I honestly do not know if this guy has left Namco Bandai recently and this is his new thing, or he's doing both, because, people can do more than one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm sure. I think Tales is still selling. Well, it's obviously selling well enough that they keep making games right now. Yeah. So I think it'll continue on. It's just we don't know how substantial he is to the process of those games. So,
yeah, I mean, there's more than one driving force to the Tales series, or more directors, because they got multiple teams. So maybe he did Hysteria, and this is for the better.
But yeah, that's
just kidding. I'm excited for this.
That's really cool. More JRPGs, the better. I'm down. I don't have time to play them, but I'm down.
And speaking of Square Enix JRPGs, Final Fantasy 15 gets patched in DLC. Well, the article says today, but that was on February 20th, so a couple days ago.
No.
Okay. Square Enix has launched the Final Fantasy 15 booster pack plus DLC today, or February 20th, to all season pass holders, along with the 1.05 patch for all players. DLC contains an almighty sword called Ragnarok, which allows you to perform a powerful warp strike attack. You also get, and get ready guys, a fishing pole and a reel, which will make fish easier to catch.
Yes! Yes!
The newest patch includes the addition of 2 songs from the upcoming game Nier Automata, which, if you guys haven't played the demo, play it. It is great. I'm
Watched
excited
Alex
for
play the demo.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was really cool how it like goes to top down and then side scrolling like
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
it is great.
It's so weird.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 songs from Nier Automata to the Final Fantasy 15 music player, which you can now listen to while riding chocobos.
Okay. I just pictured the chocobo. You just like lift up its feathers and it has like a little radio dial there, and you like cycle through the songs and you put it back down. Yeah. Okay.
Only if you breed them really special, like in Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. Gold chocobos are.
Yeah. The patch also includes the addition of new time quests and an increased level cap up to 120, when previously it was 99. You can now also save 50 more photos.
Dang.
So now 200. And an increased frame rate will be found on the new PlayStation 4 Pro Lite mode.
Alright, fishes and photos. What more could you ask for?
Yep.
Alright, what else we got?
Well, also, A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15, which was previously only available to those who pre-ordered the game, will be available to everyone for free starting March 1st. And you may be asking, what is that? Apparently, it's an action game with a retro feel featuring a combo and counter fighting system that, according to Square Enix, rewards fast reflexes and smart tactics.
Too bad I don't have those.
Yeah, so we probably will never get to that because we both have Final Fantasy 15, and between both of us, our combined hours is like an hour.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much an expert. I caught a fish. I didn't even need their fishing rod. Caught it by myself. Fed it to a cat. It was nice.
Okay. Next story. We're going to GameSpot. The headline is Horizon Zero Dawn predicted to sell 8 million units, close to Uncharted 4.
Yeah, how many did Uncharted 4 sell at the beginning? Does it say in there? It's okay if it doesn't. That's a lot. That is a lot of.
Yeah.
I'm expecting. I really honestly like am expecting Horizon to be like the next big thing for Sony, like the next big franchise.
Yeah. And this report comes from Super Data, which is like a big video game data thing. And they predict that it could move 6 million copies by the end of 2017 and 8 million overall, which it also says will put it close to the most recent Uncharted, so Uncharted 4, and most recent Metal Gear Solid, which is huge.
Good company, very good company. And also all reviews so far have been very, very, very positive.
Yes.
It's it seems like people can't say good enough things about this game. And if we do by our next episode, I hopefully, college permitting, we'll have played it for a few hours so I can talk to you guys about it.
Yep, and I will hopefully have played sometime for Legend of Zelda. So kind of we can maybe talk and compare them, because that's going to be happening a lot the next couple weeks, because they're big, giant, open world, first party exclusives that are coming out the same week.
Days apart, you can't really help but compare them, but looking like Horizon's going to be as big as we thought it might be.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I was admittedly skeptical, well, kind of potentially, about how big it could be and its quality. But glad to see it both seem to be good, high quality and stuff.
Yeah. Granted, this is predicted sales. Who knows? But it seems like there is. You can't go anywhere without hearing about this game right now. So I think this is going to be very big, and I think it's going to send Guerrilla up into one of the top developers for Sony.
Yep, and also just a quick thing. I think we can agree, Guerrilla cannot go back to Killzone now.
No.
they that's something they can easily give to another studio.
I think kind of funny you said it first, but like they said, this would be like Naughty Dog going back to Jack and Daxter at this point. Yeah. I think. I mean, like you go from that to this gigantic thing, and they're already starting they're starting at a good place for, if this is the first game and it's already like scoring that well and everything, they can make this into a series that could be
I think
and they're coming out on a console that has 50 million units.
Yeah. I think we can agree on this, that probably a sequel has already been greenlit.
Oh, I'm sure.
And because they don't have to worry about the engine,
right?
Because it's already made, and from people say it's beautiful, and it's one of those things. Until like the next console, I don't see them doing much better. They could get out within the next 2.5 years. Do a quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Also, something I just remembered, just kind of an interesting tidbit as far as how beautiful the game apparently is. Hideo Kojima's new game's using the same engine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's going to be interesting to see what wacky things he decides to do in there.
Yep. Okay. Now, I'm sorry for those who don't care about Nintendo, but that's about all we're going to be talking about for the rest of the podcast, because Switch is coming out in a week and there's a lot of news. And little news in other areas.
Right. That is probably going to be our main topic too. Yeah. If you hate Nintendo, I'm sorry.
And for some of this, if you want to laugh at Nintendo, just listen. Some of the news.
Also, we might be also just for the way this show is going to go forward. We might me and Jeff. It might be different weeks. We might be different. One of us is handling the news. But right now, whenever Jeff's handling the news, you can probably expect a lot of Switch.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's a lot of Switch stuff right now compared to everything
Switch.
Else. Yep. Okay. First thing. Bethesda's Todd Howard can't say if the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim on Switch is the special edition.
Oh boy.
Yep. And not much to read here is an interview with Polygon, the publisher's Bethesda's executive producer. Todd Howard asked what version of the game would be coming to Nintendo's new console, to which he answered that he can't say.
And that's it. I mean,
that's literally all there is to this new, but I figured it'd be important to people who were very interested in Skyrim.
I mean,
and
I hate to read into things, but I mean, doesn't this just scream it's the PS3 version? They don't want to say that because it sounds really bad.
I think part of it could be, it could be that, or it's neither version.
Yeah.
It could be a new custom built version that's in the middle, which could be what happens with some of these third party games.
I worry that most developers won't be willing to do this with other games, and that's what worries me.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Or this, I don't know much about Skyrim the Special Edition, but part of the Special Edition, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, or anyone who's listening to this, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Part of the Special Edition is mods.
You can. I mean, I didn't expect that to be in the Switch version, but
depending, it could mean they can't say Special Edition because that would mean mods.
Yeah, I mean, it's also
potentially.
I don't know that. I don't know enough about it either. But I know originally. I mean, the special edition was going to go to PlayStation, but for a while there, PlayStation wasn't going to have it.
I forgot about that.
I don't know if that's really tied to the special edition as more as it's tied to doing it on PlayStation and Microsoft, because it was going to be on Microsoft and it wasn't on Sony. And then Bethesda went and called out Sony.
You're right. I forgot about that part. I was just kind of okay, these are the possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing about the special edition that people were wondering about the Switch is the graphics are much, much, much better in the special edition, which I mean, looking at it, a lot of people, no one really thought that could run on the Switch anyway. But this makes it sound so much worse when you say you can't say.
I mean, you could, again, it could be the custom built version, and then maybe why it's coming out later in the year instead of closer to now,
right?
To launch, potentially because they got to work on it because it's custom built, and they don't want to say exactly what it is until it's. They're ready to announce it, because if they say it's a custom built version, everyone be keep bugging them okay, what do you mean by that? What's it closer to?
That's fair.
Again, I don't know what it could go anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to overread it.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. This definitely means there's no way it's the special edition version straight up.
Yeah. Right.
I think that's the only thing you can for sure read about this.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you just say yes?
Okay, now, going into a little better Switch news. Happier Switch news. Indie-focused Nintendo broadcast coming next week. Nintendo has announced that it will broadcast a Nindies showcase on Tuesday, February 28th at 9 a.m. Pacific time and 12 p.m. Eastern time.
Is it called Nindies?
Yes, that's what they call their indies.
That's fantastic.
Yes. So, they haven't gave much information other than that, but I'm interested. Like, I think what will appeal to hardcore gamers about the Switch is it's, indies, because you on the go and on the TV. That will be the place to get indies if you have it.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what all they announce there. Like,
any rumors?
Not really. Well, this could be a part of it. Kind of going along with it at the same time they announced that Shovel Knight and Fast RMX became Switch launch titles. So they could show some more there. They could show Ukulele. That's technically an indie title.
Ooh.
And a bunch of other little things because they've said they got more indie titles to announce, obviously.
Yeah. So when is that again?
Tuesday at 12 p.m. our time, Eastern time.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And like I said, Shovel Knight and Fast RMX are now launch titles. And for people who may not have heard about Shovel Knight, it's going to be Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, which is the complete edition, which comes with all the different campaigns, including the new Spectre of Torment campaign, which is going to be exclusive on the Switch for a month. And for people who have Shovel Knight on other systems, your version of Shovel Knight is going to be automatically upgraded to the Treasure Trove version, so you don't have to pay for these campaigns anymore if you already have the game.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And as far as pricing, Shovel Knight is supposed to be $25, and I think after I put all this stuff together, I saw Fast RMX is going to be $20.
Okay. And Spectre Knight looks awesome.
Oh, yes.
That's very awesome.
I may not get it day one because I'm getting Zelda and Bomberman that keep me occupied, but I'm definitely getting that not long after.
Yeah.
And another game was added to the Switch's launch lineup, Snipperclips.
That game looks so much fun. It looks like such a fun little game.
Yeah. Cooperative puzzle game Snipperclips has been announced as a Nintendo Switch launch title. Originally, earlier in the day, it was just Europe and Japan, but they have officially confirmed it is in North America as well. And it's going to be $20.
Nice.
And to people who don't know about Snipperclips, so earlier it's a cooperative puzzle game, and from people who went to all the Switch events, it was like the surprise hit. Like, everyone had so much fun with this game.
We're getting there with launch games.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
I mean,
look a little bleak at first, but we're getting there.
I mean, I know they make an argument that a lot of these titles don't matter. I mean, I understand it because, like Shovel Knight on other systems, and they're most of them indie titles, but I personally, I'm already got Zelda and Bomberman pre-ordered. I want Snipperclips and Shovel Knight. That's 4 games. If I'm being honest, that's more than the PS4. Already better than like the PS4 and Xbox One's launch lineup for me, personally. But also, they announced with the Snipperclips the multiple modes. There are going to be 3 of them. The main world game type is for 1 to 2 players, and there's also a cooperative party mode for 2 to 4 players. There's also a blitz mode, which is like a competitive mode with between 4 players. They showed a trailer earlier. I probably should have showed you that. I forgot about it. They did stuff like a basketball game and stuff like that. A bunch of little fun small things.
Okay.
Also, a fun thing, if IGN's right, the main characters' names are Snip and Clip. Because why not?
Yeah, creative.
Yeah. Okay. Also, won't talk too much more of Snipperclips, probably more than this small game needs, but they also announced a limited edition Joy-Con bundle is coming on March 10th, which contains a download code for Snipperclips and 2 extra color Joy-Con controllers.
What color?
It's red and blue.
I thought you meant there were new colors. Oh,
No.
I got excited. All right, well, sidebar here. Jeff's a monster because he got just the boring gray Joy-Cons. There's the bright blue and red, like happy color. Jeff hates happiness, is what we get into.
I'm the one who buys a bunch of Nintendo games.
No,
I just don't like the clashing colors like that. I don't know, it bothered me. If it was like straight up blue or red, I'd get one of those.
I mean, can I say I'm legitimately a little bit like more disappointed to play your Switch now because you don't have the blue and red things. Okay. All right, sidebar done. Sorry.
Okay. Important to note that no price has been listed for this yet as of this podcast that we're recording this.
For Snipperclips?
The Snipperclips is $20.
Or for the bundle.
Yeah, the controller bundle. Also, they announced that a demo will be available on the eShop on March 3rd, the launch date. So, for people who's getting a Switch who kind of want to give it a try before getting it, you can do that. I'll probably, depending how I feel when I go pick up my Switch, I might say, screw it and pick up a eShop card. We'll see. Okay, and last Switch launch games related news. The Binding of Isaac has been delayed.
I've kind of already played Binding of Isaac. I don't really care, but
it's important since we're going to the launching. I figured might as well put that in there.
Yeah.
Be fair. Positives and negatives.
Did they say anything where it's delayed? Like
it just said it's still in March, and they didn't really give a reason why. So
good game though. Whenever it does come out, check it out.
Yeah, better that than Zelda being delayed. There'd be riots. Okay. Nintendo Switch eShop purchases will be tied to a user account. So, for people who do not know, Nintendo with the Wii U is pretty draconian. So anything you bought on the eShop is tied to the system you bought it on.
So Nintendo joins the real world. There's another headline.
Yes, there'll be a lot of those headlines, hopefully, in the coming months.
Yeah.
That they join the rest of the world. But, so yeah. So now you can use your account to download things in other places.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Yeah. Seeing a little thing, but it needs to be said.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go to the bad news. Nintendo Switch, no virtual console at launch.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. They haven't said when.
Have they said that it's coming in the future? I mean, have they said anything about a time frame of it? Because I mean that's one of the biggest. For a lot of people, that's one of the only draws of like the Wii and Wii U and stuff.
They said we will share more information in the future. That's a popular phrase for Nintendo the last couple months.
Yeah. I don't know.
But for people know, as we talk about the Switch and stuff, a lot of this stuff that are negatives, I understand why people are upset. A lot of them don't necessarily pertain to my interest. So people. I understand why people would be upset about this and then not want to get a Switch at least for a while because the game's lined up and all that stuff. But the game's there for me, and I only care about that.
Yeah, and that's just something that could have it if it could make it better for some people.
Here's the thing with Nintendo.
Oh, and this is just another thing. If it's not here at launch, it's yet another thing that's not here at launch and will be here later. Which again, time and time again, I'm getting the vibes that this is coming out half a year.
Oh no! This is definitely a soft launch.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like this thing's being rushed out because at this point they feel like they have to.
Oh, no. I agree. And from Nintendo's standpoint, I understand why they want to get it out real quick because they can't keep on pushing Zelda back. And I understand why they want to use Zelda to help sell Switches. And I understand why they do not want to wait another 6 months with nothing.
I just worry that by the time they get all this stuff out here, they'll be out of the news cycle. And them announcing, hey, we have Virtual Console. Hey, you can do your online thing, or the online things paid. Hey, you can do all this. Those announcements aren't going to be as big as we just released a console. Yeah. So I'm worried that, people aren't going to buy it now. And then by the time they have that stuff in there, it's just going to be already faded away, and that's I mean,
we'll probably talk about this again at some point. I think we did last time, but I think
you didn't hear it.
Yeah, I think the main important thing is as long as I get this stuff straight by holiday, because that's the real test. If they don't have stuff straight by then and things don't go well, I think that will be the main thing about this. I mean, from here until the holidays, I don't think you can really tell much about how the Switch will do overall either way. This holiday will be the most telling point. Right. But when Mario comes out and all that kind of stuff, the holidays, when everyone will be buying the stuff.
Keeping my fingers crossed. I'm not, I'm worried. But
I like to look at the bright side, and keep on telling myself, at least I know this will make me happy.
That's all that really matters when it comes down to it, Jeff.
I'm selfish.
That's what Nintendo is trying to do, is make Jeff happy.
Indeed. Okay, next thing involves Nintendo Switch battery life. Another YouTube channel called Game Explain, which mainly focuses on Nintendo stuff and branches out for a couple things like Kingdom Hearts and random stuff here and there. They got a Switch early, like a bunch of people, but they took the time to test out the battery life for the Switch in handheld form when playing Zelda Breath of the Wild on max brightness, max sound, Wi-Fi on, and no auto brightness. So pretty much the max stuff you can do to see, like, in the worst situation, how long it will last. And it's kind of funny. They said in the video they kept on having to watch the Switch, so when the screen dimmed, go to sleep mode, they had to touch it. And the result is 2 hours 30 minutes.
Okay, that was I saw earlier IGN said they were playing Zelda. They didn't say like what they were playing on, but they said they had about 3 hours of it. So I guess that kind of goes.
Yeah, and that's pretty much like and a whole bunch of other people pretty much said normally when normal settings 3 hours is the thing. That's about what Nintendo said.
Yeah, I think like that seems fine for like a playthrough, like one session, like especially like if you're out somewhere or whatever. I think that's perfectly fine. It's maybe not as fine for like if you're thinking about taking this like on a road trip or something, or playing it in the car for like a 10-hour drive. That's when it starts to get questionable. But it's the same. I live with my phone that dies at my phone is horrible and it dies all the time constantly, but I just find a place to charge it. I think that's doable.
Yeah, well, and especially it's important to point out that Zelda will be, at least for a while, the most strenuous game on the Switch. Everything else should last a fair amount longer, like especially other games like Shovel Knight and Bomberman and stuff. Yeah. That stuff should last a good bit longer. And if we're being honest at this point, how are you really going to play more than like 2.5 to 3 hours? Like other than car rides, but they got car chargers. Everything does now. Yeah. Without a charger.
Yeah. I think that's true. And 3 hours for Zelda, I think that's definitely reasonable. But my biggest concern is something that no one's going to be able to answer right now, and that's that almost every electronic device I have, after I've had it for a while, the battery just gets worse and worse to the point where it's just a joke. And I worry about this because what happens if my Switch gets to the point where the battery is laughably bad? That's a lot of money. Yeah. What do I buy another one? It's not like a phone where you have plans and stuff. This is just that concern is not going to be answered for a while for me. So that's.
Yeah. But as far as battery life right out the box, I'm perfectly okay with it. I'm of the opinion if anyone's really complaining about it, you're just trying to find a reason to complain.
And I'm more of a skeptic. I even think that's all right. I think that's passable.
Again, who's going to play Zelda? I don't know, charger for like 2.5 hours.
You underestimate my. No, I think it's fine.
Okay, now I'm done with the regular news.
Okay, yeah. So again, we're gonna hopefully have cool transition things going on at some point, but right now we don't. So this is going to be our main topic. If you have an idea for what we should call this section or any ideas about anything, please let us know. This is going to be on YouTube. Comment, everything. Message us. But I think Jeff is bringing our main topic this week. So what do you have?
Okay. Just so people know, this is kind of... I don't know how long this will last. This might be shorter than main topics or normal. So just so people know. But
you missed a great one last week though. That we're not releasing. It's just the best.
Best. Okay. This is kind of new. This is a mixture of news and our main topic, but Nintendo announces and details The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Season Pass, or what they call Expansion Pass.
Yeah. And what I heard about it. Have they said much about what exactly is in there? I know you can give Link a Switch shirt.
Yes. Okay. This is the important info. It's going to be available starting March 3rd for $9 $19.99 US, and it'll be available on both the Wii U and the Switch. And it comes in, like, I guess you can say 2 packs and a little bonus thing you get the moment you get it. For example, when you get it March 3rd, you get, like Darby said, a Nintendo Switch shirt for Link.
Which, we all want so bad.
Yep. And the way you get the shirt is a treasure chest is going to appear in the Great Plateau location or the starting area, and you got to find it. And the other thing you get are 2 treasure chests in the Great Plateau containing useful items.
Oh boy, Jeff, you know me.
Yes.
You know how I love useful items.
Yes.
I just love them.
The items that are useful are the best.
I mean, you don't want none of those non-useful items.
No.
Get that out of here.
I mean, I hope they're useful for the Switch shirt.
I mean, come on. I mean, that's the best piece of DLC content ever to be released.
Yes.
The Switch shirt.
Okay. Now,
I hope when you put it on, it does the noise.
Every time you move, when you walk.
Every step he takes is
yes. And it'll cause you to... See, Nintendo planned for that. They do that. Will be when you... At some point, you'll end up breaking your Switch and then buy another one. It's perfect.
That's genius.
Yes.
They got it figured out.
Yes.
Wow. I don't know why I underestimated them.
Okay, well, there's that extra stuff when you get the DLC pack anytime you buy it, and there are also 2 main packs. The first pack, called Pack 1, says going to come out summer 2017, and it contains a new Cave of Trials challenge.
We don't know what that means yet. Or do we?
Yeah, and there's similar stuff in other Zelda games. It's just kind of like, Cave of Trials, harder dungeon type thing. Our hard mode.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'll let you keep going, but that is
Yeah. Well, I'll get done with the pack 1, then we'll talk about it and move
go.
on. And then a new feature for the in-game map.
Well, you know how I love features, right, Jeff?
Yep. Zelda's gonna have all the features, man.
Okay, so is that all?
That's all for pack 1. We'll talk about that, and then we can move on to pack 2 if you want to.
Okay. Me and Jeff were talking about this before. I think some people are mad at just the fact that they have a season pass.
The fact that this exists.
Yeah, the fact that this exists at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, honestly, every other game in the world, pretty much. I mean, every Call of Duty that comes out, every EA game, all this stuff, they all have this stuff, and it's just become a fact of life. Nintendo historically has not done that, but now they're doing it. Now it's the news. Now it's a big deal. That doesn't really make sense to me at this point. I mean, this is another topic for another day, but games should probably cost a lot more than they do already. They've stayed $60 for so long, even though they've gotten games have gotten so much more complex. So I'm fine with DLC. I'm fine with developers finding other ways to make money, especially when it's good story content and stuff. And when it's stuff that is made after the fact, you wouldn't have been able to play it if they weren't able to do that. It wouldn't have been in the main game because it was made afterwards. What I do have a problem with, though, is that your game, you shouldn't charge extra money for hard mode.
I agree.
I think that's
the one thing in here. Yeah, that's the one thing in here overall, as far as, even though everything they said is vague. So then you don't
vague.
Yeah. But as far as we can tell, that's the one thing I'm like, what?
Yeah, your game should. I think that's a little absurd.
Yeah.
To make someone pay. So I mean, you're punishing someone for just wanting to play your game on hard. I mean, that's. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly what that means. But at the same time, when I think about it, it's I don't see how they could do it, to justify it.
No, I don't understand.
And the thing is, and we'll probably talk about this once we get done with the whole thing, going into the whole vagueness of this. Nintendo's pretty good with their DLC so far, the few things they've done, like Mario Kart and Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Fire Emblem stuff overall, but I don't think I heard that was as great. But as far as their bigger games.
And another thing, as much as, honestly, if I'm looking at this thing, there's no way I'm buying this right now. There's no way I'm paying money for this right now because of like number one, hard mode kind of makes me mad. I mean, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. I just think it's kind of dumb. But number two, I mean, these descriptions are horrible. I mean, these descriptions are like they tell you nothing. We were sitting here, useful items. Like, I mean, like it tells you absolutely nothing. But to me, the fact that it's there, that's fine. I just won't buy it right now. Yeah. I'll just wait and see what it is. That's why I don't really understand why people get mad at this for existing. You don't have to buy it. That didn't sell me, so I'm not going to buy it. It might not sell you. Don't buy it yet. You can just buy it after you know what it is.
And here's the... where was I about to go with this? I already forgot before I started talking about it.
Aha. I won. I took his idea from him.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Part of the reason people were upset with this because it was announced before the game. So the whole thing of they're taking out content.
But the game comes out next week. I mean, like a lot of this content probably couldn't have been. They're probably still working on it. And even if they're not, I mean, like it's just...
And here's the thing also. It's kind of the thing where, well, yeah, the whole thing announcing beforehand and it being vague. The whole thing beforehand, I don't really care as long as they are making it afterwards. If they like with this stuff, you can say, "Oh, they took it out of the game since they have it kind of planned out." They have it planned out. It's probably good.
Yeah,
that means they know what they're doing and they have a plan for what they're gonna do. Other games do that too. They have a season pass announced beforehand and usually double this price. The bigger games.
And I think it's being made a big deal because it's Nintendo. And
again, there are things to complain about with this. The hard mode.
Yes.
And the vagueness of it. But again, like you said, don't buy it. I'm not going to buy this right away.
No. I mean...
I might not even get it during pack 1.
I mean, that's just kind of a lesson for everything. Is you don't have to buy it right now. You can wait and see.
I mean, that's why. And as far as this stuff, it being vague, as long as they get more details before the main packs come out, I don't really care. Because as long as, like, before I can buy it, before it technically comes out, they tell us kind of more what it is. The useful, I mean, the shirt and the useful item thing is just a little bonus thing to make people feel like we're getting something right now.
Yeah.
Those things, I don't think those things up the price at all.
No. I would hope a Switch. How much? What value would you put on a Switch shirt, Jeff?
5 cents.
Okay, that's pushing it. It's just. Now I don't know where I was going.
Haha.
Jeff wanted to know. Is it the water man?
I don't know. Kind of funny reference for the win.
All right, what's pack 2?
Okay. This is, in my opinion, the far more interesting pack. And, well, pretty much everyone agrees. It includes a new dungeon, a new original story, and then additional challenges, whatever that means.
You know I love additional challenges.
More challenges, the better.
All right.
See, also important to note, I was waiting until we get through it all to say this, because I know you're probably thinking, you want the pack 2.
Yeah.
You can't buy these separately. You gotta buy them all. And
you gotta buy both packs?
Yes, the $20, that's for all of it. You can't buy it separately if they say so. That's another reason to be upset. That's another one of the fair things where it's like, they know most people want the pack 2, which by the way comes out holiday 2017.
Let people buy what they want. Yeah, that's another one. That's another weird one.
The hard mode and the whole buying it at all at once that you have to is the only things out of this where I'm like, why?
I mean, I guess we have to. Do we know what it would cost for both, like together? Like you said, like what was the total price?
20. It was 20 for both packs. Okay. Which, depending how they do it, again, it's vague, so we don't know. So again, wait. But that's depending how they do with the new original story and the dungeon and stuff. That may not be a bad price, in my opinion.
No, just
depending how they do it.
Yeah, just wait and see. I mean, it was just that's the bridge I'll take it for that at least. But I mean, like additional story, like I mean, like that. But just looking at like ignoring the fact that you have to buy both and all that stuff, or whatever. Just looking at what the idea of the second pack. I think that's awesome to have an excuse to jump back into Zelda this fall. Like you finish Zelda now or whatever, and then you don't play it for a long time, and then you get a whole new story. It's like Uncharted doing this Lost Legacy. I think it's
Chloe.
So. Yeah, it's like that. And I see no problem with that.
Yeah. But yeah, holiday 2017 for that. I am pleased with, for I'll get more reason to go back around winter break or something like that.
Absolutely.
Also, there have been talks about the original story. There are no rumors or anything about what it could be.
Playing the Zelda?
That's what people are hoping / thinking.
Yeah.
That seems to be the obvious thing to give you more incentive to get it.
Yeah.
Like, kind of... Yeah, we don't know the Zelda story, the story of this game, but it's...
Unless she dies.
That can tie into what I'm about to say. The whole thing is... And people kind of wonder what other past Zelda games... What does Zelda do when Link's off doing his thing?
Yeah.
They could do that... Zelda... They can do the story thing where you playing as Zelda during the events of the game, like while Link's doing something else potentially.
I think that would be awesome because I'm already that was one of the things that excited me the most about especially this last trailer. Just this last trailer because that's the one that had Zelda in all the time. But what excited me is it kind of seemed like they were making the Zelda character more involved and more not just kind of the princess that Link's going after. It seemed like she was more involved in the story and more of like a character with depth and all this other stuff. So and I'm guessing that's going to be a thing throughout. I'm guessing that trailer wasn't misleading. Yeah. I'm guessing she's going to be a more detailed character. So it would be awesome to be able to play as her and to play a Zelda game where you don't play as you play as a different character. I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah, I think, and I might be remembering this wrong, so be free to correct me. Well, they have showed Zelda wearing the same kind of blue outfit as Link. Whatever that outfit means, maybe nothing, maybe a coincidence. I think they've also have shown her with a Sheikah slate, the little tablet thing Link's been carrying around and everything. So depending what those means, it could mean Zelda is in on the action. That's more thing to. She's in on the action. She's actually doing stuff, and the Sheikah slate has functions. So if she has one, that's easier to transfer over to her own story. Yeah,
that could mean that she's playable at times.
Yeah, without changing the gameplay up too much or giving some kind of stupid excuse to why she might have a Sheikah slate just for the sake of the DLC story.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a pretty fairly safe bet.
Yeah.
But obviously we haven't even played the game, so we don't know yet. But I think that would be awesome. And that's a pretty safe assumption to make.
Yep.
All right. Is that all we got, Jeff?
That's all that's in the DLC pack.
All right. Well, this has been the first episode of the show with no name.
Yep.
God, we need a name. Please give us a name. Please help us with a name.
Can we call ourselves the No Names?
I'd really rather not. But we're gonna try to do this. We're gonna try to do this weekly. On the weekends, maybe posting on Monday or something. I probably shouldn't lock myself down on something.
You can edit that out.
Yeah. But we're going to try to do this frequently. We're going to talk about gaming news and gaming topics like this. We'll probably adjust the format, as we go to
figure out what we want to do.
And we might do additional stuff like Game of Thrones is coming up. We're both big Game of Thrones fans, and we've noticed that after we watch every episode, we end up sitting in my room for an hour talking anyway. So we thought might as well turn on the mic. So stuff like that. We might talk about movies, whatever you guys want. Like let us know if you have anything you want to hear us talk about.
Also, let us know if you like BoJack Horseman, because we thought of that right before it. That could be an interesting thing.
And if you don't, you should.
Yeah, everyone should watch BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching.
Yep. Or thank you for watching / listening.
You didn't watch. They definitely.
They technically may watch whatever random thing we put on the screen.
What should we put on the screen?
Just something based on what we're talking about at the time.
Or just a picture of Alex the whole time.
Yeah. Alex is Darby's roommate.
Yeah.
Goodbye.